I'm going to talk to you about teenage startups, something that I have been working on for the last 5 to 6 years. What do we need for competitive and competencies for creative industries to make competitive young adults and to prepare competitive young adults that will lead these industries in the future, in the very next future? At the Tumo Center for Creative Technologies in Armenia, we have stumbled across a very interesting natural experiment working with teenagers that gave us very powerful skills and gave us very powerful clues for answering these questions. The emergence of something I would like to call teenage startups. The Tumo Center for Creative Technologies in Armenia is a free environment, after-school program in Armenia, where teenagers come and learn technologies and creativity, and where more than 10,000 active students are working on projects. But a small number of them, a significant number, not to dismiss, is combining formal education with entrepreneurial and professional activities. So the most important qualities that startup founders and venture capitalists are looking in their teams is something that is very common and naturally to the teens. What are they? I'm going to talk about some of them, which are very interesting and which we discovered across our experiment. Teenagers are naturally optimistic. They're not afraid of anything. They like to take risks. They like to try new things. And everything is possible for them. They also have energy, a lot of energy. Yes, they need to sleep, but sometimes they can go on working on projects that are very interesting for them for hours and hours. And the stamina that makes them go and party for very long hours is the same one that they use in projects when they are involved in something that is interesting for them. They are very motivated, super motivated. Yes, they are motivated financially and professionally to succeed, but the most important is that they are motivated because they want to be cool. And the fact that they want to be cool helps them to compete and to succeed in all what they're doing. And hanging out with peers and working in a successful startup is very cool for them. They have something very, very interesting. The captive angel investors, their parents, who are giving them food, home, maybe paying for their vacation, are there. So that comes naturally to them. And maybe the most important, teenage startups are their own user demographic. The cliché of startups wanting to change the world is, in their case, more to the point. They are changing their world. What is needed to succeed? What is needed to succeed in these emerging and creative industries? Let us look at the teenage startups and have a sneak peek into the future of the work and competencies. I'm going to show you a little video, but before that, keep in mind, how about their education? Is that on their way? Is helping to improve these startups going to be kind of difficulty in their formal education? But maybe we shouldn't ask this question. Maybe we should ask another question. How can we help them to support, and what can we give them as an education in order to improve all these startups and in order to improve their education? This is the video that I'm going to show you. This is Tumo Center in Armenia, where more than 12,000 students participate in an after-school program. It's all for free from 12 to 18-year teenagers. This kid come from different environments, from different backgrounds, and they participate in a program that they choose to do. There are 4 centers in Armenia, one in Yerevan, one in Dilijan, one in Stepanakert, and one in Gyumri. All of them give them what the schools are not providing. They give them something that will help them to build a competitive portfolio. They also get the advantage of meeting each other. They work on 4 focus areas: animation, digital media, game development, and movie development. And also they have 10 skills from which they can pick. I named them here. And they, most important, they work on projects that are real. They build their personal learning plan, from which they choose 2 focus areas and 2 skills that you see. And once they have done their choices, there is a big path that is drawn for them, which involves learning phases, activities, workshop, learning labs, and startups. We invite industry professionals throughout the world. More than 70 industry professionals visit us voluntarily, and they run specific workshops for them, from building movies to food photography, like this example here, where we took a field trip and we went to all the areas in Armenia to take photos. We organized Hack the Fountains, which was a simulation of the lights of the fountain we have at Tumo. We organized calligraphy and typography workshops. Some of them are hands-on, some of them are digital. We do 360 virtual reality movies, coding music, 3D modeling. We do little animations for The Simpsons. And we also do game development, including virtual reality game development. Digital sculpting, and 3D modeling, like I said, plus animation. All these are projects that are given to the students and from which they pick. They have their own choices, and at the end, they come up and they build their own startups at the Tumo Center, where we give them the opportunity to have a small studio and to have equipment, and even bring them projects that they get paid for. We're working, for the last 2 years, we're working on a very big project, anti-corruption game for the European Union, and we are also developing products and games. One of the startups that was born at Tumo is called Marimba Games. So this is Tumo, and this is all we offer them. But what about the fundamental question that we ask ourselves at the beginning? What are the competencies that we need in order to create competitive young people? One of the most important skills is the mastery of tools. We need to teach them how to master tools. And not only how, whether it's Photoshop or Python, they need to learn how to use them, but we also need to create an environment to avoid bad habits and to learn how to develop those skills in a well-mannered way. What else do we need? We need mastery of fundamental skills specific to a domain. For example, animation. We need to teach them concepts like frame rate, like squash and stretch, and to make sure that they understand the fundamental of every domain. What else do we need? We need mastery of fundamental skills specific to a certain domain, like I said, but on the on top of it, we need the types of fundamentals that work across domains. What does it mean? We need, for example, to teach them mathematical skills that are used for solving problems. We need to teach them concept of modularity. We need to teach them fundamentals that are used across different domains. What are all these skills needed if you don't have self-confidence? That is something that we need to teach them. And throughout experiences at Tumo, we involve them in environments where they have to face failure, they have to face success, and they have to understand how to deal with circumstances like that in order to build up their self-confidence. Working in teams, taking advantage of the resources they have, knowing how and when to deploy the right tools is what we call context skills. And these are things that cannot be taught directly, but they can be trained at. Emotional skills, that's an important one. They have to understand that they will face difficulties. They have to understand that they will face very hard tasks, confrontation, failure. And here again, by creating an environment where they are trained to face this kind of skills, they are prepared for the future. And finally, humor. This is a skill that is the least underappreciated creative industries' competencies, but maybe that one needs a full and a big conference all by itself. Thank you.